Welcome to this week's episode of This Week at Endicott. I'm Brianna Marr.
And I'm Brooke O'Leary.
Are you a Hunger Games fan? If so, you're in luck. On Wednesday, there will be an all-day Hunger Games movie marathon in Lower Callahan. Be sure to stop by.
At 5:30 p.m., you won't want to miss the Alumni Speaker Series featuring Pranam Lipinski. This event is located in the LSB Auditorium and is swipeable.
After, stop by the Rose Performance Hall for Gull Jam. Groups like Jazz Rock Ensemble, the Modern Band Project, and Whiskey Bridge will be performing along with other student singer-songwriters. They will be performing both original and cover songs. Come by at 7 p.m. and support your fellow students.
On Thursday, meet outside Gully's at 1 p.m. for the Really for Life Great American Smokeout, where you'll toss a frozen turkey for the chance to win a gift card. All proceeds go towards Really for Life, and mini turkey sandwiches will be served.
At 7 p.m. that night, there will be a showing of How to Train Your Dragon 2. Grab some popcorn, a blanket, and head over to the chapel.
On Friday, support the women's ice hockey team as they face Stevenson at 7 p.m. in the Raymond Bork Arena. Wear your blue and green and be ready to cheer.
At 7 p.m., residence halls close for Thanksgiving break, and we hope you have a great vacation.
Residence halls will reopen on Sunday, November 29th.
On Sunday night, stop by Gully's to catch the Patriots game, which begins at 8 p.m.
CAB's annual Gullibration event series celebrating the winter season begins on Monday with cookie decorating. Join CAB in Lower Callahan at 7 p.m. for some festive fun.
On Tuesday, there will be a Festival of Lights held at the chapel from 5:30 to 6:30 p.m. Grab your friends, some holiday cheer, and come on down.
Then, at 8 p.m., CAB's Gullibration continues with the Winter Holiday Trivia Night at Gully's.
Now let's take it to weather with Jill Watch.
Thanks, Brianna. The current conditions are shifting in Beverly as we near the end of the fall season. Wednesday's temperatures are predicted to rise from the low 30s to the high 40s around 9 a.m., with mostly sunny conditions bringing an average high temperature of 49 degrees for the midweek day. This Thursday, expect light scattered showers with higher chances of more forceful rain precipitation by nightfall. Temperatures this day will start out in the mid-40 degree range, rising to a high temperature of 56 degrees as the sun begins to reemerge. However, wind chill is expected to speed up around 2 p.m. as the chances of showers increase towards nightfall, within the 50% range. Cold and rainy conditions will carry over into Friday. For this week's start to the end of the week, we're expecting rain to plummet for a majority of the day. Temperatures will reach a high of 54 degrees towards noontime, remaining in the 50-degree range until a low of 41 degrees is likely to occur for the coastal areas later in the evening. The sun will finally become visible again this early Saturday morning as partly cloudy conditions will permeate the weekend sky. Temperatures in the morning will provide us with a low of 37 degrees, presumably soaring into a high of around 48 degrees in the late afternoon. Partly cloudy conditions will remain this Sunday as humidity will reach the 58% range for this day. Temperatures will reach a high of 53 degrees and a low of 35 degrees in the early morning. The underlying point here is that chances of rain precipitation for the upcoming weekend are predicted to occur 0 times out of 100. That concludes our extensive outlook of this week's 5-day forecast. Now for extreme weather on the Watch Report. Areas just barely north of the southern border have been experiencing severe conditions for over the course of 2 weeks now. Yes, you probably guessed it, I'm talking about Texas. Towns in and around the Houston area, around Interstate 10, are riding out some potentially dangerous flooding. The southern state has faced torrential downpour on top of overflowing waters that sources say will advance into the next week or so. If you're traveling here for the holiday break, you may want to avoid this area. I know I am. For ECTV's Watch Report, I'm Jill Watch. Now, back to the desk.
Let's take a look at sports with Matt and Jess.
Hello and welcome to this week's edition of EC Sports. For ECTV, I'm Jess Carroll.
And I'm Matt Pritchard. The fall sports came to a close this past weekend. The football team ended their season with a 33-5 win over Coast Guard. The Gulls were led by NEFC Offensive Rookie of the Week, Michael Scherer, Defensive Rookie of the Week, William Rivera, Special Teams Player of the Week, Kyle Reagan, and NEFC Honor Roll players Jacob Simmons and John Fortes. The Gulls saw 8 players with postseason awards, most notably Tyler Calitri and William Rivera, who earned the Senior Achievement and Perseverance Award and Defensive Rookie of the Year, respectively.
The women's soccer season came to a tough conclusion in the ECAC quarterfinals. The Gulls hosted Emerson College and fell in penalty kicks.
On the men's side, the Gulls saw a great run that led them to the ECAC finals, where they played Springfield College. The Gulls played tough, but Springfield won 2-1.
The cross-country teams participated in the NCAA New England Regionals. The men's team finished 21st out of 55 squads, and they were led by freshman Austin Landry. The women finished 31st out of 56 squads and were led by freshman Samantha Pearl.
The women's volleyball team finished off their season in the best of ways with an ECAC championship. The Gulls were led by Tori McIntyre, who received Division III All-American Honorable Mention honors. McIntyre becomes just the 3rd female in Endicott sports history to earn All-American honors. To all the sports teams, thanks for a great and exciting fall season.
The women's ice hockey team remains undefeated as they defeated Becker College twice this past weekend. Friday the 13th, the Gulls saw a game-winning goal from number 13 Maggie Leo with just 13 seconds left in the game. The Lady Gulls went on to best Becker again on Saturday 2-0. They'll be back in action Friday the 20th and Saturday the 21st, where they will play host to Stevenson.
The men's ice hockey team finished their past week 2-0 with wins over Salve Regina and Wentworth. ECAC Rookie of the Week Parker Wood led the Gulls. The men's team will be back in action Thursday the 19th at Johnson & Wales and Saturday the 21st at Becker.
The women's basketball team kicked off their winter season going 1-1 at the Pepsi Mariner Challenge. The Gulls dropped their first game against UMass Boston before beating UMaine Presque Isle 94-50. The Gulls were led by Player of the Week Kelsey Cuddy and Rookie of the Week Eliza Holman. The Lady Gulls will be back in action after Thanksgiving break.
The men's basketball team started off their season in a similar fashion, 1-1 at the Keene State College Tip-Off Tournament. The Gulls won the first game versus Elms, but dropped the second to Keene State. The Gulls were led by Max Petroni, who earned KSC All-Tournament Team honors, and Kamal Walker, who broke the single-game scoring record with 47 points versus Keene State. Walker also earned KSC All-Tournament Team honors and was named CCC Player of the Week. The Gulls will be back on the court Friday the 20th and Saturday the 21st in the Herb Kenny Tip-Off Tournament.
That's all for this week for ECTV. I'm Jess Carroll.
And I'm Matt Pritchard. Have a gobbling good Thanksgiving.
Now let's take it to Too Glam to Give a Damn with Christina and Molly.
Hello and welcome to this week's segment of Too Glam to Give a Damn. For ECTV, I'm Christina McNamara.
And I'm Molly Massey. Let's check out this week's entertainment news. According to E! News, former One Direction member Zayn Malik has said that he has wanted to leave the band from the beginning. The 22-year-old, who walked out on the band during the Hong Kong stop of their world tour in March, told E! that he had been considering quitting during his entire 5 years with the group. "I was always thinking it," he said. "I just didn't know when I was going to do it." To add insult to injury, the West Yorkshire singer also said that he didn't particularly like One Direction's style of music. Wow, that's harsh. Let us know what you think at 2GlamEC on Twitter.
Despite the ongoing speculation surrounding Adele's highly anticipated new album, 25, the Grammy Award winner wants to clear the air for once and for all about her rumored collaboration with Beyoncé. Adele stopped by Beats Radio 1 show and dished whether or not her new album features a track alongside Beyoncé. She said there was a rumor going around that she turned Beyoncé down, which she would never do, according to an interview with E! News. Adele shared that she would be honored to share the mic one day with Beyoncé.
In other news, the Dixie Chicks have revealed the dates for a 2016 tour that will take them all across the U.S. next summer. Following their previously announced European tour, the World Tour will kick off June 1st at Riverhead Music Center in Cincinnati, Ohio. The multi-award-winning trio will visit more than 40 cities throughout the U.S. and Canada, wrapping up their road trip with a performance at the Hollywood Bowl in October. World Tour tickets go on sale beginning Friday, November 20th.
Tom Brady just keeps winning and winning, and he keeps looking good while he does it. The New England Patriots quarterback added to his victories on Wednesday when he made the cover of GQ magazine as one of the Men of the Year. Brady did an exclusive photo shoot with the magazine. On the cover, he is seen wearing a tan sheepskin wool jacket. Do you think it might be UGG? President Obama will also be featured on a separate Men of the Year cover.
And that's all we have for this week on Too Glam to Give a Damn.
Have a great week, Gulls.
Now it's time for Shake My Head with Molly and Simone.
Hello, and welcome to this week's segment of Shake My Head News. I'm Molly.
And I'm Simone. Don't worry, you don't have to purchase a ticket to the zoo this weekend in order to see some crazy animals roaming around. In West Philadelphia, 2 zebras escaped from Universe Soul Circus. The 2 animals somehow got loose and sprinted out of the front gate of the establishment. The fleeing zebras were on the loose for about an hour until they were finally safely captured by the police.
Police in Australia are investigating photos and videos showing a group of men kicking back with some beers. What's the catch? Well, the men are moving through traffic on a pair of motorized picnic tables. The men are up for charges including drunk driving, using an unlicensed vehicle, and driving an unroadworthy vehicle.
Move over, selfie stick. The selfie mirror is the only way to take the perfect snap. Our resources say that pictures and videos taken on the mirror can be uploaded straight to social media sites, including YouTube. But it doesn't stop there. The devices can also be used as part of a home surveillance system with two-way communications options and motion sensors that send CCTV footage directly to your mobile phone.
'Tis the season, and one person knows exactly what he wants for Christmas. In his Christmas letter to Santa, a little boy by the name of Rory Smith wanted to tell the man at the North Pole that he'd like the video game Grand Theft Auto 5 for the upcoming holiday, but made his intentions extremely clear that he just wants to play with the cars, not the hookers. The photo of Rory's holiday list has gone viral and currently has more than 1,480 likes and 570 shares on Facebook. That's all we have for this week's segment of Shake My Head News. Back to you, Brianna and Brooke.
Now let's take it to an interview with Matt with Emily DeBacher and a new club on campus.
All right, thanks, Brooke and Brianna. Today I'm joined by Emily DeBacher, president of the newly formed Autism Awareness Organization here on campus. Emily, thanks for being here.
Thank you, Matt, for having me. I'm thrilled.
So, can you just explain a little bit about what the organization is?
Sure. So the Autism Awareness Organization is a newly formed club that wants to educate the Endicott community as well as the local community about autism spectrum disorder, also known as ASD. And we want to just educate everybody about what exactly the disorder is, and we want to do a lot of outreach and community service to really make a lasting impact in our local environment.
So what type of events do you hope to do, not only on campus, but in the community as well?
Well, right now on December 11th at 6:30, we are going to join the Northeast Arc and their Friday night happenings. And we will be, our club will be going there, and they're having a Yankee swap, which is like a holiday party. And so we'll be basically just having a party with the children on the autism spectrum that go to the ARC. It's from 6:30 to 8 o'clock. And then also we would like to have a swipeable event here on campus, probably in the second semester. It's going to be autism through the eyes of a parent and highlighting the parent experience. So we're going to have a mother of a 21-year-old boy with high-functioning autism basically share her story and her experience with ASD.
That's great. Where did the idea come from of you wanting to pursue this initiative and start an organization like this on campus?
So autism has always been a topic that has been very near and dear to my heart because I feel like it's a topic that people don't really know much about, and there's a lot of negative stigma that goes along with it. But mainly my professor, Dr. Michael Dorsey, first approached me with the idea of possibly starting up a club, and I took his idea and basically ran with it. I loved the idea of educating the community and everything. And getting back to your previous question, we also want to do a lot with Autism Speaks and getting involved with them and hosting a runner walk on campus, as well as getting involved with one off campus as well. And I just feel like this is a topic that people really need to know about, because right now 1 in 68 children are diagnosed with ASD.
That's a high number.
Yeah.
Being an education major, do you think this ties into the curriculum that you're learning, especially with everything evolving in the education system? Whatever you learn in the classroom, can you apply it in the organization as well?
Oh, of course. Not many people know this, but Endicott actually offers an autism education major. Really? ABA, it stands for Applied Behavior Analysis, and that's actually what my major is currently. And so I love it, and that's why Dr. Dorsey is my professor, because he is the director of the Behavioral Institute here at Endicott. And so we are taking classes right now that go over the whole autism spectrum, and then also ABA, which is Applied Behavior Analysis, like I mentioned, and all kinds of techniques to help people with ASD and just kind of understand them better. So of course, everything that we're learning in class right now could definitely be applied, you know, not only to help people like understand what autism is, but also like when we're working hands-on with the people affected by it as well. Like our knowledge in the classroom will definitely be a strength to us.
That's great.
And an asset.
That's great
Thank
to
you,
hear.
Matt.
For anyone who might be interested in starting their organization on campus, how hard or how easy was it for you to, you know, approach student activities and say, you know, I want to do this? What was the process like for you?
Oh, it was very simple actually. The hardest thing is actually just kind of coming up with the concept of a club. But once you have your idea and your concept set, you just go and talk to Brianne McGann. She's the director of student activities and clubs and organizations on campus. And you talk to her, then you type up a mission statement and a proposal of what your club is, who it's targeting, like who could be a member and who it's open to, and kind of what your goals are, and then you submit it. She reviews it with her team, and then she tells you if it's approved or not. Then after you get the approval, she'll give you a small stack of forms, nothing too complicated, and then you could start recruiting members for your first meeting. We just had our first meeting yesterday. We're all very excited about it. And so you pick an executive board and go over like what you want to do and everything. You fill out like a hazing form, a club roster, and then you just submit it to her and you get your club funding and you're done. So just a couple very simple steps.
That's great. I mean, anyone who might have the initiative to start something on campus, it's glad to see that, you know, you take an initiative for something you deeply care about and wanted to let the community know. I think that's great. For anyone who might be interested in coming to your next meeting or get in contact with you, how can they do so?
Oh yes, our next meeting will be held in Lower Callahan in the stage room at December 7th at 12 noon. And the meetings usually run about 30 to 40 minutes. And if you are unable to attend the meeting, we are more than willing to send out meeting minutes. So don't feel obligated if you can't join us. Where you're more than welcome to still be part of it, because we know like the times are kind of hard. And you could contact me through email, which is edeba534@mail.endicott.edu, or call or text 203-312-4421 for any further information or details.
And if anyone missed that, we'll have that at the bottom of the screen. That is great. Emily, thank you so much for being here today.
Yes, thank you, Matt.
Thanks. And Brooke and Brianna, back to you.
Earlier this week, I had the pleasure of interviewing Pareg O'Malley. Let's take a look. Hello, I'm Brooke O'Leary with ECTV, here with Pareg O'Malley. How are you?
I'm fine. It's nice to be here, Brooke. Thank you for interviewing me.
Very nice to have you here. Thank you. So I was wondering, what inspired you to become so heavily involved with peacemaking and reconciliation, and to do so on such an impacting, globally recognized level?
I became involved when the conflict in Northern Ireland broke out in 1967. I'm from the Republic of Ireland, and because of a particular massacre in Londonderry in 1972, when 13 civilians were shot dead by British soldiers. Even though I was in Boston, I became involved. I organized a concert for the families of the victims, went to Londonderry to deliver the checks to each family. That's and amazing. To keep the checks out of the arms of the hand of the IRA, and that was actually my first time in Northern Ireland. Wow. And when I looked around and saw the conditions in which Catholics at that point lived, I was drawn in. And I did that 2 years later when there was a bomb went off in Dublin and a number of people in Dublin were killed. But I thought it was rather stupid to kind of be doing benefits for the families of victims, and that something more should be done. Mm-hmm. So I set out very idealistically to try and bring all the parties involved in the conflict together, which had not been done before at the University of Massachusetts in Amherst. And by a miracle, I got them all there, 30 people.
Wow.
I won't go through the whole history of that, okay? But I won't even say that it was a successful conference, but it was the first time all these people were together, and if they did not fight each other, at least they sang with each other, and they drank enough Guinness that we had difficulty getting them up in the morning, so that by the end of the week, everybody was so, like, they would drink till 3 o'clock in the morning. We'd have them up at 7 o'clock. Program begins at 8 o'clock. So by the end of the week, everybody's nerves were on such an edge that everybody was looking for a Valium. And I remember that one member of the IRA asking a member of a Protestant paramilitary group, did he have anything that would relieve a headache? And the guy took out a Valium and gave him half a Valium.
Wow.
They became friends. That's all it took, okay? So the lesson of that is that when you put people in a situation, because most situations of conflict are one in which each side others the other side, and people on the other side. They're not quite seen as human beings. That's why it's so easy the violence comes so easy. But when you put them in a situation of where they can begin to relate to each other as human beings, their attitudes towards each other change.
Why do you see this as such an important issue to speak to college students about and to get the message out about?
Well, you are the future. And right now the world is a very messy place with phobias of all kinds kindling conflicts. It's like a post-Cold War order, and the kind of diminution of the U.S. as the world's sole superpower. The world has become very fractured, and the nature of conflict itself has changed. Usually conflict was between two nation states, where armies confronted each other and airplanes bombed each other and things like that. Now it's terror and counter-terrorism. And I don't like to use the word terror, I must tell you, and counter-terrorism, because they're suggestive that the people who often engage in these activities do not have legitimate rights to engage in those activities. For example, while the IRA and the until it called a ceasefire, they were called terrorists.
Yeah.
And now members of the IRA occupy the highest positions in government in Northern Ireland. So, you know, it switches.
Yeah.
Okay? And, you know, there's a kind of jadedness about more, I would say, senior leaders in the world, because they don't quite understand the revolutions in technology and media and social media, and how social media is used to either recruit, to propagate, to organize, to demonstrate. They've never quite got their hands around how this mobilizes young people. And young people in the world, there are, 289 youth who are unemployed across the globe, who are living in slums. And I'm involved in another project I'm setting up to deal with that. But I think every student should, after he or she graduates, should make a point of going to a poor country and working with the people there, not only to help them, but to learn their culture and immerse themselves in their traditions and learn their value systems. because we in the West tend to think that we have the absolutely correct value systems, and we want to impose our correct value systems on others, and mostly because we don't understand the value systems of others.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much for your time. It's amazing to see all the effort you've put forward towards peace and reconciliation, and I hope that we can continue it on in the future.